This is a little bit of a video content collection of information about a joiner that I bought. It's a Minimax FS31. I bought it from a guy on Facebook Marketplace. He had it posted a few different times at a continuously decreasing price. I did eventually purchase it from him for $750. He's the owner of a building, and next door to him in the other opposite side of this wall, there was a cabinet shop. And one day the cabinet shop up and left because, well, who knows why. And they left a few different machines behind, and this is one of the last ones that he was trying to liquidate. I think it was left behind because it was never set up correctly in the first place. The guards that are protective between the head and the joiner table were sticking proud of the table, so anytime you'd run a board across it, they would catch on the guards. So that was no good. It had sat up there for about 5 years, so it had a little bit of light surface rust on most of the bare metal surfaces. Then I brought it home. And here you see me unloading it. It was pretty easy to unload. Actually, it almost slid down on its own, but that was only after I disassembled most of the heavy weight. The joiner weighs 600 pounds fully assembled, and I probably stripped off around 300 pounds of weight to get it down the ramp. I got it home, and I discovered that the start switch also doesn't work, so that's maybe another reason why it was never actually properly used. So I had to rip this out and replace it. I could not find a replacement identical switch. They're like $600, so I'm going with a simple paddle stop switch.
Many months later.
I'm working on setting up my joiner here, and there's an adjustment tab here that I had to adjust. And I'm trying to get the head planar with the outfeed table, because that's the primary thing that you want it to be planar with. And alright, adjust a little bit. Alright, so that's pretty much on zero there, you can see. And then I move it over here, and doot, zero, or at least within 1/1000th of an inch, and that is good enough for me. I did the same test on because this is a joiner planer, I did the same test on the bottom side between the planer platen and the cutter head, and it was off by 5 thousandths, so one side cuts 5 thousandths thicker than the other, over 12 inches. I think that's okay for woodworking. I don't know how to exactly adjust that in this. If you have to shim the table, I can just show you. If you have to shim the table on that post right there, which is what goes up and down. Focus. There we go. On that post there, which can go up and down. Newer versions of this have adjustment bolts on either side of the post that you can adjust the post itself, and I'm not sure how exactly this model you can do it. It's a FS31. Or if you have to shim these end castings, here I can lift this up and show you the adjustments that I was making. So the locking mechanism on this, it has a cam, and then there's a flat plate there, which rests on another flat plate, and that's the adjuster to make it coplanar with this. So adjusting the cutter head to the planar side, if you'd have to shim these end castings on the frame of the machine, or if you have to shim the bed. I don't know which one's which. I have not been able to find a manual for this. The one that I did find is severely lacking in information. The adjustment for this is it's a cam grub screw with a lock nut, and then there's two other locking bolts, and so I adjusted that until it got perfectly in parallel, lock it down, and now I'm gonna snug up those two bolts there, put it down again, make sure it's still lined, and then snug them up the rest of the way. And then I have to do the infeed table in a similar manner, and then maybe look at how coplanar these two tables are. I don't know how they're going to end up. The adjustments for that is with more grub screws and lock washers on this pivot shaft here, and that would adjust how it is coplanar to this. I don't have a good way of even measuring that right now. I don't have a long machinist square to measure these. I probably need about a 4-footer at least to get a good measurement. Okay, so that's what I'm doing with that. Oh yeah, I have to replace that cover there with something that's more suitable for this. And I was adjusting the infeed table here, and so there's where the bar would go. Wow, I can't talk. There's where the bar would go, and then there's an eccentric grub screw, you could say, in the middle that adjusts the bar up and down. And here's the one that came off. It broke. That's not my fault. I was not brooding on it. So I couldn't find any of these long grub screws locally. So I got a equivalent socket head cap screw, and then I put it on a lathe in my 4-jaw chuck. Oh, by the way, I got my lathe bolted down at least so I can use it without, you know, falling on the ground, and I got a motor on it, and here's my control. And then I had, because it's a 4-jaw, you can do off-center turning, so that's what I did with this. And I used some nuts to allow me to put it in there off-center, but I had to grind the nuts down round. So now I can put this back in, and it'll all work out well. You can see how that's eccentric there. See, as I spin this, it goes up and down. But I can only spin it so far before it disengages or rams into the backside of it, because it's a screw. And I was doing it, oh hi, I was doing it back and forth. I can actually adjust it by fiddling with it below. Alright, I got this big joiner set up, which is awesome because it was like $750, plus I spent another $125 on the knives to get new knives. And if you look around, 12-inch joiners are going to run you thousands of dollars, and then this is also a planer too. So it's a fantastic deal what I got. Needed some cleanup. It's not perfect, but here, I'll mark that so you guys can see. Put that side down, and then we're going to join it. I still have to fix the switch. It's dangling. Also, you saw there was a lot of chips flying up out of here. There's no provisions for dust collection when in joiner mode. So I need to remedy that. It's got a few other engineering deficiencies. Like there's nothing to hold this back when I'm flipping it up into planer mode. I can show you that too. So first I unlock that, I unlock the other one. Make sure that nothing's in the way back there, and it's pretty clear. Also, I have to put this guard far enough forward that this doesn't catch on this. I just put it up all the way there. Put that up out of the way. Put this up out of the way. You can see all the chips here that were collected. And then I can put this there, and now it's in planer mode. Let's switch back. There we go, pretty quick. 10 seconds to switch between the two. It's a pretty good deal.